Hey, Frank. Frank. Jimmy's having problems with that Centrex opening up this thing. Jim, editor. He opens it up, and then he can only turn the pages real slow. Well, I'm just saying, he wants to talk to you then, because at the end he can't get it back. I don't know. I don't.
When it downloads on your phone, that's where it's on his computer. So he should be able to go right through and open it back up.
Okay. Sir?
Yes, sir, Tom.
Okay. We got about 5 minutes yet.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to make sure I can connect.
No problem. Frank, why is the screen on? We all.
Hey, Randy, I have one for tomorrow. God bless. Have a nice day. Bye.
I don't think anything's going on for the screen at all.
Hey, Davin around. Past Polaris. I got a meeting tomorrow.
Roger that.
Call them out of the town council meeting right now.
Slip sliding away this morning, let me tell you.
I'm thankful that I did it last night. I cleaned the whole driveway,
Yeah, you're lucky.
and I put the I mixed it with milk and regular what do you call that stuff?
See you at 2 o'clock.
It looks like stone crystal.
Thank you.
Salt. And when I woke up this morning, good to go.
Oh, great. I had about that much ice
Really?
all the way up my driveway.
Oh, you got that little ramp? Yeah. That's a pain in the butt.
Yes.
That's my copy.
Yep. We got it today. We put it on file. Yep.
Speaking of the mic,
Now I guess we just wait for the other one to sign and send it to us.
that's what I like, to get them before. We have them all at one time.
I'm busy.
They'll start you next Tuesday, though.
Yeah, I know.
Phone calls from Oregon. Really? Wow. Amazing.
All the mics are on.
Is it 6?
Almost, a minute or two.
For the agenda.
Is that a picture with the mayor? Is that where that's up? Okay. You just got to insert his face.
Well,
Second date.
told.
Oh, it's very nice.
Gosh.
Yeah, we had a nice time. I mean, we've been to a couple of the islands before. But
Wake up, don't do that, Roger.
enjoyable cruise.
Well, he had
One
problems
we
with
had,
something.
We've never been to Curacao, which is a pretty island too. That's where they make those liqueurs, Curacao, blue, red. We went to the distillery, but I don't drink. So I guess it's good. Everybody was imbibing.
You what? No. Ask Tom. Go ask Tom. Not at all. And it would be removed now. It wouldn't be removed already. The chair has
What?
to remove that.
The what? No, it's all right. It's on the bill. It's on the bill. Fee schedule.
It's bill number 2
Bill number 2. Wait,
on the back. Bill number 2.
bill number 2.
It's introduction.
Okay. I forgot to put over on it this time.
Go ahead and call the meeting to order. Please stand for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Bow your heads. Heavenly Father, thank you on behalf of all those who are gathered here today for our meeting to openly debate the issues. Thank you for life itself, for the measure of health, for friendship, and for civility. Thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work and for the honor of improving our community. I pray for the agenda set before them today. Please give an assurance of what would please you and what would benefit those who live and work in and around our beloved city. In your blessed name I pray, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Brown?
Here.
Mr. Ettinger?
Here.
Mr. Milan?
Here.
Mr. O'Connell?
Here.
Dr. Ruggles?
Here.
Mrs. Volcano?
Here.
Mayor Panto?
Here.
Approve the agenda.
Move.
Second.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and make an amendment to the agenda. I will be removing item number B off of new business. I think Mr. Ettinger wanted to remove 2 items, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
No, we need to act on each one of them.
Oh, okay.
So yours first.
All right.
Somebody has to second it.
Second.
Moved in second. Discussion. Roll call.
Mayor Panto?
Aye.
Mrs. Volcano?
Aye.
Dr. Ruggles?
Aye.
Mr. O'Connell?
Aye.
Mr. Milan?
Aye.
Mr. Ettinger?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Now, can I remove both of these?
Yes, yes.
Because I'm also going to move to remove letter C, resolution approving job description, and letter F, the resolution amending the 2019 salary and wage
D.
resolution.
I think it's D.
D.
Well,
Yep.
no, it was, you have the D already.
Or the second D.
Okay.
Right, okay.
Okay.
Second.
Moved in second. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Ettinger?
Aye.
Mr. Milan?
Aye.
Mr. O'Connell?
Aye.
Dr. Ruggles?
Aye.
Mrs. Volcano?
Aye.
Mayor Panto?
Aye.
Action on the amendments from our
Excuse me,
January.
sir. Now we got to vote on the amended.
Oh, my
agenda.
apologies. Thank you, Mr.
Sorry.
Clerk.
Mr. Ettinger?
Aye.
Mr. Milan?
Aye.
Mr. O'Connell?
Aye.
Dr. Ruggles?
Aye.
Mrs. Volcano?
Aye.
Mayor Panto?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Action on the minutes from our January 23rd council meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved in second. Any deletions, additions? Roll call.
Mr. Ettinger?
I abstain.
Mr. Milan?
Aye.
Mr. O'Connell?
Aye.
Dr. Ruggles?
Aye.
Mrs. Volcano?
Aye.
Mayor Panto?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
At this moment in the meeting, we have a resolution for the death of Benjamin Cavada Sr. Mr. Clerk, would you mind reading into the record, please?
Yes, we have a resolution being introduced by Peter Milan, co-sponsored by Kenneth Brown, James Ettinger, David O'Connell, Roger Ruggles, Sandra Volcano, and Salvatore J. Panto Jr. Resolved by the Council of the City of Easton, Pennsylvania, that it was with a feeling of deep sorrow that we learned of the death of Benjamin Cavada Sr. on January the 15th, 2019. Mr. Cavada served honorably in the United States Navy during World War II. Mr. Cavada served the city and its citizens as a member of the police department, retiring after 25 years of service in 1975, and was the oldest living retired police officer. Mr. Cavada was a life member of the Washington Lodge No. 17 Fraternal Order of Police. Mr. Cavada was a dedicated, faithful city employee and citizen. He performed his duties in an excellent and professional manner and was held in the highest esteem and affection by friends and colleagues. We join in expressing our deepest sympathy and condolences to his family at this time of their bereavement.
So moved.
Second.
Would a member of the family like to come up, please, for the...
You want to take a vote first?
Oh, I'm sorry. Sure. Roll call.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Sorry
Dr.
about that.
Ruggles?
Aye.
Mr. Ettinger?
Aye.
Mr. Milan?
Aye.
Mr. O'Connell?
Aye.
Mrs. Volcano?
Aye.
Mayor Panto?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Did I call Dr. Ruggles?
You did.
Okay.
You can call him twice if you want. Would you like to come up for the resolution?
Call him Roger Ruggles.
Mr. Vice Mayor, while the family's coming up, unfortunately, I don't know which one of the families is there, but I'm probably one of the few people that knew Mr. Cavada when he was a police officer. I was growing up in the city. Knew the family well, Southside family. Mr. Cavada was an officer who not only served with distinction, but helped every little kid in the Southside, because we all know who to go to if we needed help, and he was just a wonderful person. Used to see him all the time back at the food lane after he retired, and always talked about the city, and he had a strong heart for the city itself. So for the family that's there, my sympathies. He really was a loyal employee of the city of Easton.
Would you say a few words? You can, please. If you could just state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Richard Cavada. I'm the second son. Easton policemen always used to refer to me as number 2 son. I live at 406 Park Avenue in Upper Mount Buffalo, Pennsylvania. I was a long-time resident of Easton, and would just like to say, Dad was a very, very proud man, and I would like to thank all of you for recognizing that. He was proud to serve in the United States Navy during World War II on the USS North Carolina. He was very proud to be an Easton police officer and also work at the juvenile home for years. He loved kids, and he showed it. He loved the city of Easton, not just to work for it, but also to live in it. I spent the majority of my 72 years in Easton, and I really do many times miss it. It's a great city, and he was very proud of it, and he was even prouder to serve the people of it. So again, I would like to say thank you very much for recognizing him. This means a lot to the entire family. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Cavada.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Richard.
Anyone else on council want to add anything?
Could I add something?
Absolutely, Mr. Hess.
I worked with Benny for 4 years when he retired. I came on in 71. He was in 75. He left. And I remember he worked in the traffic division at that time with Vince Ramuni. And then I think he worked with Teddy Hartman, was the lieutenant wise and that stuff. And then something happened and he got shipped down the 4th Street traffic down at 4th and Northampton. Well, might have been. But Benny was a good guy. He taught me a lot. And then, like I said, the mayor said after he retired, we used to see him up at the food lane, sitting on the bench there, smoking his grape cigars or whatever, you know. And then we were happy. We have a lodge clam bake every year. And I know this was, I think, the first year he couldn't come. But, yeah, we introduced him 2 years ago, I think, myself and Tony Zingalis, as the oldest living retired police officer in that. And then he used to sit in the whole court at the end of the table there with the cigar in his mouth again and that stuff, you know. But Benny was a good guy.
Yeah.
He always was.
I heard Pat always talking about him.
One
Yes.
of the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
At this point in the meeting, we're going to go to a certificate of appreciation for 3 retired firefighters.
Okay, we have 3 certificates of appreciation being presented to John Bast, Leo Engelhart, and Stephen Finelli from City Council on behalf of the citizens of the Easton for his many years of service to the City of Easton as a member of the Easton Fire Department. John Bast from 1989 to 2018, Leo Engelhart from 1985 to 2019, and Stephen Finelli from 1985 to 2019, presented this 13th day of February 2019, and signed by all council members and the mayor.
Chief Batch, would you like to come up and get your certificate? Oh, sure. Kevin, do you want?
Sorry, I got fingerprints on it.
Chief, could you come to the microphone so everyone can hear you? I mean, Assistant Chief, I'm sorry.
Deputy Chief, sure.
Deputy Chief.
John, on behalf of the department and myself, I'd like to honor your time with us with this commemorative axe that you can hang on your wall.
Wow.
The kids can practice polishing it.
I could have used it today to break up the ice.
Yeah, believe me, we all could have.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Tom, if it's all right, can I accept the certificates for the two that were unable to attend?
John, did you want to come back up and offer any words to us? You're not really a man of few words, so why don't you come up and grace us? You prepared comments?
No.
Oh, exactly. Come on.
John Bass, 213 Ridgewood Road, Easton. Before I say anything, I want to mention to the Cavato family, I was only 9 years old when your dad
Yeah, I was only like 20.
retired, and I did tell this to all the new firefighters, that your job was to break the pension fund, and 40 some years your dad was, that's great. Trust me, I'm going to try and break his record. But I'd like to thank you. It was a tough decision to retire, but talking to friends and my colleagues, when it's time. It's not just a job from 9 to 5, it's a lifestyle. And I'd just like to say I'm doing very well. So
Well, you're
thank
doing
you.
well,
I
Chief. You're
appreciate
doing
it.
well.
I appreciate my time for the city of Easton. I got to do a lot of things I never thought I was going to do. I met fire chiefs from across the world. I got to serve not only the citizens of Easton, but I served on a few committees for the state, for the governor, and the Senate. And thank you.
You're welcome, thank you.
Thank you, John.
Yeah. So we're just going to go from left to right. Mrs. Volcano, do you want to offer any comment to
I'm
Chief
just
Bass?
happy that he's looking so well, and continued health to you, John, and don't forget us, which I know you won't, and I know you'll continue your volunteer activities with family and church and all those kind of good things, so enjoy.
Congratulations on that also, John. Well deserved on that. I like to say that getting to know you over the years, it's been a real pleasure to know you, not only as a chief. And the one thing about being in the arena of chief, you never drop that. You're always a chief. Maybe not at home, but, that's a different story. But I appreciate knowing you. I wish you well in the future. And I do know you're probably busier now than you ever been. So congratulations and well deserved.
I'd also like to offer my congratulations. I'm glad to hear that everything's going well, and I wish you the best in the future. I know that it's a change when you change so drastic of a lifestyle, and I'm glad to hear that you're adapting well. So, congratulations.
What can I say to you? Thank you so much for your time. You've been a good friend of mine for 22 years? 22? 22 years. And we've gone through some rough times, you and I. But ultimately, though, we've had a good friendship, and I can't thank you for all you did for the city. It means a lot to me that you dedicated pretty much your entire career to protecting our residents. Hopefully she's not going to burden you with too many household chores and whatnot, but I'm sure she is, actually, because I know her pretty well too. So, but thank you again from the bottom of my heart for all you did for us, and it does mean a lot to me that you dedicated your life to our citizens. So thank you.
John, I just want to say thank you for a job well done. And when my when my own brother-in-law John Price was your deputy, he always had just great things to say about you, and you've really served the city admirably, and we thank you very much.
Yeah, I want to thank you for your service first. How many people call you now and say, "Hey, you're retired now, right?" How many of those calls you get? Yeah, you got it. You got to pretend that the phone broke. This phone is. Yeah. I'm sure you'll be busy. I hope you can enjoy your retirement.
Mr. Hess, you have anything? Mayor?
Yes, thanks, Mr. Vice Mayor. Chief, I really want to thank you. You've been a real godsend. I know your men may not know this, but you were always there to support them and get them new equipment, grants for the SCBA, the state-of-the-art things that you did for them. You not only protected the residents very well, you protected your men and made sure that we got them the right equipment and put us on a path for the next 5 years of capital equipment replacements with new pumpers, etc. The idea of you leaving did not sit well with me. You're a good guy, and I want to remind you that I appointed you and the other two that were with you, Leo and Stephen couldn't be there tonight, but it's tough to see people that I appointed in my first round as mayor leave. And the good news is you're leaving with good health, and so are the other two. And I wish you well. I know you want to spend time with Samantha, which will be good. And now, I don't know who's in the audience, but I'm assuming your wife and your daughter are there. And if they are, let them know. I want them to know that they have a really good person and a husband and a father. And that's more important than being an excellent chief, which you were as well. So thank you, John. I appreciate it. And as they say, I'll see you in church.
Thanks, Chief. Okay, moving on to public comment on agenda items only. If anyone wants to come and address council on any agenda items only, please approach the podium and state your name and address for the record. Seeing none, we're going to move on to the consent agenda, Mr. Clerk.
Okay, under the consent agenda, we have two resolutions. One for appointing council members to the Lehigh Valley Planning Commission that we do every other year to act for Bethlehem and Easton, and a resolution approving reappointments and appointments to ABCs.
I move the consent agenda.
Second.
Moved and seconded discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Ettinger?
Aye.
Mr. Milan?
Aye.
Mr. O'Connell?
Aye.
Dr. Ruggles?
Aye.
Mrs. Volcano?
Aye.
Mayor Panto?
Aye.
Reports received by council with the City of Easton Police Department 2018 annual report. Moving on to reports of committees, finance, Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I have one thing coming on the agenda this evening, and that's a resolution, and that's for professional service agreement.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Mrs. Volcano for economic development.
I just wanted to say that we are, the ad hoc committee, I guess it's called, or the committee, small committee, is meeting on Friday to review the interviewees of the developers who put in RFPs on our RFPs, answered them for the North 3rd Street lot, the South 3rd Street lot, and the North 4th Street lot. And we will be discussing them and then whittling it back down again and probably bringing some of them in for second interviews.
Thank you, Mrs. Volcano.
Can I ask, you just said you're going to go over the
They've been in one
RFPs?
time,
Oh.
and we've gone over their,
RFP.
not resumes, their applications, or their proposals, and we've set, and we're going to be probably reviewing them, knocking some of them out,
Okay.
and then bringing in the ones that we choose back in again,
in.
if we have any further questions before we make a decision.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Volcano. Planning and Code, Mr. O'Connell.
I have no report, Vice Mayor.
I have nothing for Public Safety, Public Works, Dr. Ruggles.
No report tonight.
Administration Committee, Mr. Ettinger.
Yes, thank you, Peter. Just a few things. The administration's working on the website. We're in the process of updating the City of Easton website, and they'll be updating it, and I guess that's scheduled to go live in midsummer. We have, the administration has a new hire. He's actually here today. Fire Chief Mike Krill's been hired as our new fire chief, and there was a press conference last week I wasn't able to attend, but it's good to see you here. Um, We're looking at selecting an economic development director. We're getting, that's getting close to the end, would you say, Mr. Campos?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sandy mentioned the RFP, the parking lot RFP reviews. That's ongoing, as is the RFPs on the aggregate pension. The Westward Steering Committee, there's a consulting group called Camaros that did the preliminary work that's going to be reporting here on March 13th to give us the what they've come up with at this point. And also the Da Vinci, the terms with the Da Vinci Science City are ongoing. If there's any questions, I'm sure our administrator could answer them for you. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Ettinger. Report of Solicitor, Mr. Murphy.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. There is no report from the Solicitor's Office.
Thank you. Report of the Mayor. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. I have no report this evening.
Okay, moving on to new business. Mr. Clerk.
Okay, hold on just for a second, please. Okay, we have bill number 2 being introduced by David O'Connell, amending sections contained in chapter 285 fees of the Code of the City of Easton for construction fees.
So introduced.
We have bill number 3 being introduced by James Ettinger, an ordinance setting the benefits and compensation for elected officials of the City of Easton, Pennsylvania.
So introduced.
We have a resolution being introduced by Roger Ruggles. Let me just make sure I'm in right.
T.
Resolve that Council of the City of Easton, I'm sorry. Okay. We have a resolution being introduced by Kenneth Brown. Resolve that council has reviewed and approves a professional services agreement, copy attached here too, between the City of Easton and Turnkey Taxes. Be it further resolved that council authorizes the mayor and city controller to sign said contract on behalf of the city and the city clerk to attest the same.
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second discussion. Roll call.
Mrs. Volcano.
Aye.
Mayor Panto.
Aye.
Mr. Brown.
Aye.
Mr. Ettinger.
Aye.
Mr. Milan.
Aye.
Mr. O'Connell.
Aye.
Dr. Ruggles.
Aye.
We have a resolution being introduced by Roger Ruggles. Resolved that council has reviewed and approves a Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection grant agreement. Excuse me. Copy attached here too between the City of Easton, Pennsylvania and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection for a 902 Municipal Recycling Grant Program.
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Ettinger?
Aye.
Mr. Milan?
Aye.
Mr. O'Connell?
Aye.
Dr. Ruggles?
Aye.
Mrs. Volcano?
Aye.
Mayor Panto?
Aye.
And Mr. Brown.
Aye.
At this point in the meeting, we have public comment on any matter related to the city. Come to the podium, please. State your name and address for the record.
Pastor Larry Vanderveer, 331 South Main Street, Nazareth, PA. Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year.
Anyway, a couple different things. One, I've been trying to get a hold of Mark. Mark, you haven't returned my emails or my phone calls. Last year, you put up $3,500. I want to see if that rolled over to this year because for a couple different reasons. Last year, we couldn't use it because the Center for Health and Welfare, we've contacted them in August, weren't doing any kind of neutering or spading until November, and they weren't sure what days and what day the guys were in. So I turned Mark on to no nonsense neutering. He has said that he had set something up with them, and my question is, can we go forward? I've had, since I've seen, just this month alone, I have 2 colonies that came in with a total of 28 cats. Another colony came in today with another 14 cats. All right, there's at least 5 colonies I have been contacted from in the city of Easton that people need help. I can't move forward without the guys saying we can go ahead and do it.
Well, you have to put that forward to council.
I mean, what do you need from us, Larry? I mean,
All I needed was Mark to email me back and say, yeah, Larry, no nonsense is set up, go ahead and take care of it. And then when we do, we go do the trapping, then we get the information, and we give you a copy of everything we've done, and we tell you where the location of the colony is. But the only person we will talk to where the colony is would be you. because there's just too many nuts out there today that are actually catching cats and using them for feeding their boas. Kind of sad, but it's truth. So we need to go ahead on this. Also, I sent you a revised proposal. Palmer Township was did the same thing you guys did, put money up. The problem is the people that lived there found out about it, and they were using it for their own pets. The money was put up aside for feral cats. If people have pets, you can go through the same place where we go and get paid a lot less. At a vet, for instance, my male costs me $150, and at my female costs $225. At No Nonsense for a pet, it's $75. For $75, they get rabies shots, they get distemper shots, they get fixed, they get dewormed, they get a flea treatment, they get hair mite treatment, and nails trimmed, and sent home with special medications. And that's a lot cheaper. At a feral cat, it's $35. Get everything's done the same thing except for the left ear is clipped, telling me on the street that they have been caught and they have been fixed. We got to move forward because the problem, what happens is, how many of you guys have cats? Any of you guys? Nobody? That's amazing.
No, it isn't. I'm allergic to them, so
Not a lot of people are.
sorry.
It's no biggie. But for most people that have one cat, one dog in the house, they have 3 cats. And the problem is, a lot of people are leaving the cats free roam. And I understand there's no ordinance in here in Easton for cats, but federal supersedes state, state supersedes local. And according to the state of Pennsylvania, any cat that's abandoned, left out of the house and not returned to the house is a misdemeanor with a fine of $750. We have to start enforcing these things. If the cat dies from this negligence, it becomes a felony with a prison term and a very hefty fine. We don't get that far because what happens, you let the cats go, they breed, and right now, buddy, let me tell you something. Within the next 3 weeks, it's going to go crazy because this is when they start going back into a gestation period where they're going to start getting in heat. We got to move forward to stop because what happens, they interbreed and things like leukemia comes up, feline leukemia comes up. FIV, which is like HIV in us. Leukemia to a kitten is a death sentence. Sometimes to the adults, they beat it. FIV is not. But if we go ahead and start doing properly what has to be done for these animals, you don't have to worry about those problems. You don't have to worry about it being a health hazard because they don't have to worry about rabies because they got the rabies shots. And once we get involved with a colony, if you had, for instance, Mr. Millian, if you had a colony in your yard and you were going to take care of it, we would train you how to do that. But every month we're going to check that colony out with a camera to make sure nothing's going on. If we take the colony over ourselves, we feed that colony every day of the week, every day of the year, rain, snow, or shine.
Excuse me, Larry.
Yes.
First of all, your time's up. So what you want to know is
Yes.
the money that was from last year you didn't use, does it roll over?
No,
Okay.
but it can if we so choose, right?
Well, I think, yeah, council could approve a budget amendment to
Put it back
add,
Put it
yeah,
back
put that
in
back in,
this year.
so we would just have to find, the source of
$3,500.
that revenue,
Yeah.
correct?
Larry,
That's
why
something
did
that-
you say it didn't get used?
Say again, please?
Why did you say it didn't get used last year?
Because we were trying to use your local people, Kelly over at the Animal Health and Welfare Center.
Yeah.
And when we got a hold of her in August, she said she's been waiting for us. I said, why don't you call us? She's going to have set up. She goes, well, we were waiting for you. We're not taking anything until mid-November. And when wintertime comes, the cats don't breed as much. They start stopping. And then when it gets to cold weather, we don't like
Gotcha.
trapping.
Gotcha.
And so that's why we turned you on to No Nonsense, because they have an open, every Tuesday at No Nonsense, I can take 5 cats in there. Every Friday, I can take 5 cats in there. And it works. It works
Yeah,
quite well.
and we understand that probably what happens is that because it went to you first, it has to come back to council again for approval.
Do you think the guys will be able to do that?
Well, I mean, we'll have it ready for 2 weeks from now. You have it ready for 2
It
weeks
would be
from now for a
resolution,
transfer.
right?
Say it again.
It's a budget transfer. It's
No, it's an ordinance.
a budget transfer.
That one's
We're
that
We're gonna handle it for you.
Okay, great. So just give you a call in about 2 weeks to see how things are going?
No, it'll be a month.
No, it's, an ordinance has to be introduced.
Microphone,
Have to
please,
sit
sir.
for 2 weeks.
Sir?
and then
Microphone?
Well, basically, we'll have it introduced in 2 weeks,
All right.
and then we'll vote on it 2 weeks after that, and then after that, it's 30 days.
30 days, so you'll
So
have it. in
figure-
60.
2
Oh,
months.
2 months.
2 months.
2 months.
Sorry,
Okay.
that's the
I mean,
fastest
I mean-
we can move.
I understand. I'm just
I
gonna
apologize, but I mean,
I understand. One cat. I put you guys. You guys. I'm so proud of being East. I'm an Estonian. I was
Thank
so
you.
proud when you guys
Government
put the
doesn't
money
move
up on one of our
quick.
4 social pages, and even sent a letter to the editor about you guys. And now I'm meeting with Joe Emery tomorrow, and believe it or not, we're on TV tomorrow. They're actually coming with us to find out what we're doing, and we wanted to mention you guys on there and say, hey, man, Easton, come up and took the ball hold and start doing it
Well, we can
properly.
mention
Thank you
it,
so
it's
much.
coming.
Thank you.
We'll
Thanks,
get back to you.
Larry.
Thanks. Have a good night.
Thanks,
Anyone
Larry.
else? Seeing no other comment, we'll move to adjourn.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Milan?
Aye.
Mr. O'Connell?
Aye.
Dr. Ruggles?
Aye.
Mrs. Volcano?
Aye.
Mayor Panto?
Bye.
Mr. Brown?
Goodbye.
Mr. Ettinger? Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a good week.
You too, sir.
Have a good one.
Goodbye.